Hey guys, it's Taylor here from What's Cooking Podcast, and today we are here at the Next Level Financial Literacy Brunch. So today we are going to hear some amazing speakers speak today and drop some gems. So we're going to learn some things and we're going to go around the crowd and get to know everybody. So stay tuned, guys.
Yo, my name is Vladimir. Everybody calls me Glad Credit, but I'm better known as Glad, born and raised in Queens. And I got into credit because I realized that my community was missing something. It was missing the financial literacy, and everybody thinks that you need to save a lot of money to start a business, and you need to, but I really just didn't understand the true power of it. And as I learned more and more and more, I realized that not only was I missing the information, but my community was missing it. So I left nursing school, I graduated, but I didn't pursue my career, and I got into the credit game, and it was up from there. Alright. I want y'all to look at credit as access, right? So if you're not able to get that funding, and your money isn't allow you to save a lot of capital, then where are you going to actually get the money to invest, right? So make sure your credit stays at least a 680 plus, then you can actually get access to business funding, 25K, 35K, right, in business credit, and use that to invest. And not only yourself, you take 4 people in this room, y'all each get 35K each, y'all got over 100K in funding, y'all put that together, put it into a business, right? You get a business plan, make sure that business is producing income, and now you work
to get started. And like, what resources did you guys use to get started and get to that next level? Anybody can answer it.
Yeah, I'll start. So I always talk about mentorship and how to skip the curve, because a lot of people look at things as a cost, or I look at things as value. So just as Dan said, he has a mentorship, right? He has a mentorship every Wednesday. I'm gonna get access to that,
right?
Because if I can skip the learning curve, then I'm gonna do that, right? So I learned by tapping in with people like Ray and Leisure,
right,
M500, and I learned the credit game, and I took that information and I used it to 10x. But the best thing to understand is that you have to apply the information. Once you get access to it, it's nothing if you don't apply it. So if I'll tell y'all something, is get a mentor. Like, that's the best thing I'll tell you.
For me, so about a year ago, I was placed on leave just because of with the COVID-19. And as far as with management goals and things of that nature, and so when I was placed on a leave, as a teacher, I thought to myself, the next 15, 20 years, I'm gonna be in the classroom, good paying job, benefits, all this, whatever the case may be.
Right.
And then experience happens.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you got doors closed, sometimes that's an opportunity for God to show you, to reveal yourself as to who you are and what you need to improve. And so for me, it started off as, okay, I was placed on leave, so now I got to manage my money a little bit better.
Yep.
And then once I started looking over bank statements, I said, what am I doing? It's time for me to get it right. And so one of the resources that I would say for myself is just your mindset. I encourage for people to start getting uncomfortable. And you don't want to be in a position, for me, I had to learn about uncomfortability when life hit me. And so the moment that I started being uncomfortable and I had to learn how to stretch, that was when I started to be able to reflect, search out resources. Google's the most amazing thing you can find out on just looking up about finances, how to do this, how to do that, how to save and how to spend this, how to invest in this way, and how to prepare for retirement. And so with me just pouring myself out there, and I was able to get training and getting licensed for that and certification, and so that's why I am today.
Appreciate that. Clap it up for that real quick. We talk about mindset, and a lot of the issues with our community is fear. We could get all the information in the world, but let's be honest, everybody's not gonna. You can give everybody like the whole blueprint. Everyone's not gonna do the thing, even though they have the blueprint there. So talk to me a little bit about that mindset. What mindset do you need in order to like start a business or invest in real estate? Because these things are scary. Like, all our life we've been taught, work a 9 to 5, go to college, get a job, right? So why should we have the mindset to invest or start a business? And what kind of mindset do you need? Or how do you get that money? If I'm making sense. So like,
You want me to answer that?
hey, we can start with you.
Listen, the reality is this. I just want to touch on something about resources. I'm going to be 60 years old this year. I'm probably one of the older people in this room. We had no internet. My resources were people by example. And the example that I looked at was all the shop owners on Myrtle Avenue that didn't look like me. They would come in and open up a store, whatever that store was, and within a couple of years, own the building store was in. A couple of years after that, own the building across the street. So I was like, well, how do I do that? Right? But like you said, we didn't have those resources. And we still don't. But the wonderful thing about our economy, as screwed up as this country may be in some aspects, is that money has no conscience, money has no morals, money only goes to the pockets that hustle the best, and think outside the box. Right? Can't stop money. Money's power. Right? So if you're willing to work harder and outthink your competition, you're going to make money. First, you got to get it in your mindset of getting out of the poor man's mentality. I agree with you, man. You know, when you're poor, you're in survival mode. But how do you get out of that survival mode mentality? So I've lived all three stages, and I'm very fortunate for that. Because I wouldn't change a damn thing in my life. Because without it, I wouldn't be who I am today. I put 4 kids through college, not one of them going to have any student debt. I didn't grow up that way. I didn't have that opportunity, but my kids had it because I changed my mindset. So, I'm sorry, what was the question? Because I want to
Talk about mindset. So, how do you obtain that mindset in order to be able to say,
you got to come up with the mentality, no excuses. And my father taught me that. My father had a bodega for 35 years on the Delphine Bar. And I can't tell you, one year we got held up 11 times. Right? It was a joke. It was like, we need to call the cops. Just change the box out. We had another $150 in change. And then separate box, put it back in the box, and keep doing business. Right? So my father, he sent us to go to the basement and get something. We came back and said we couldn't do it or something. It was a smack across our heads. He was like, I ain't bringing up women, because we were all, me and my 2 brothers. I bring up men. He said, and jails and welfare lines are full of excuses. I ain't dealing with excuses. So that was put in my head since day one. Don't come with no excuses, because you're going to come back with is a nod in your head. So there was no reason for me not to succeed in my mind, because I was going to do whatever it took to make it happen. So if you don't have that fire in your belly, if you ain't got that desire in your heart where you can't sleep at night because you're so angry that you ain't wealthy, then don't become self-employed. Keep working for somebody. But if you have that desire, like you can't sleep, like every waking minute of the day, you're angry because you want to make more money, then become self-employed. You have to learn how to channel that energy and that anger in the right direction. And in today's environment, you don't have to even pay for it. Everything's on YouTube and social media. The worst thing that ever happened to the establishment was Facebook. Because now everything's out there for free. There's no hiding anything anymore, unless you choose to put on blinders. So, you know, it all starts with your mindset. That's what that's when it comes down.
appreciate that.
I've been turned down multiple times from multiple people, and when it comes to business, when it comes to business and stuff like that, you can't really like put your trust and all into just because a person is your family member don't mean that they're like they have their best interest in you. You know, just because they're family don't mean that good things will come to you just because they're related to you. But in business, everything has to be strictly it's discipline, pretty much. And that's about it.
Alright, so one of the biggest things I teach again is, networking. So my brand, I'll talk about it a little bit more. It's a luxury sunglass and designer clothing brand, right? So I got some drip. And right now, if y'all check on Instagram, Malik Dupree, you're gonna see a whole bunch of celebrities rocking the brand. Rick Ross, Kodak Black, Dave East. We could go on for a minute. Yeah, we be outside. We be outside. So part of being outside is the networking part that we're talking about, and branding, right? So like the easiest way, like if you're gonna build a brand and you want to get in tune with like these celebrities and get into rooms that most people aren't in, you have to build with a little cheat code is like building with the team, right? You build with the team around the people, because let's just say Rick Ross. I'm not having a personal conversation with Rick Ross and, yo bro, you could throw this on. Nah, it's usually, it comes from the managers, their security, you know, the photographers, like the regular people around them. So you build in like real life relationships, and I'm like real life friends with these people, you know, and they want to see you succeed, so they're gonna do what they can to help you. And you hear it all the time, like your net worth is your network, or your network is your net worth. Like that shit is so true, and like really creating that and taking the time and effort to build that network, and building a strong network of, I got people over here that I really trust and believe in, and they believe in me. So it's really just being outside and creating those relationships, because they go a long way.
Oh, clap it up for that, clap it up. Before I continue, I didn't say it before, but I'm super appreciative to be alongside these men that are doing really big things. And I want you guys to give yourself a round of applause for actually being here. These spaces are super important. Creating spaces like this where we could just share information of people that look like us is so important. There was a lack of access back in the day, so now we have access to it. So it's on us to, you know, take it to the next level. The real estate gentleman before had said that we're in business. We're in a people business. It's all people business. People only do business with people that they like, for the most part. All right, and having spaces like this and connecting with people, you never know who your next joint venture is going to be. You never know who your next business partner is going to be. You never know who's going to put you onto that next opportunity. So I say to really get out there and just meet as many people as you can, and don't try to extract value, add value as much as possible. That is the most important thing. Serve, serve, serve. As cliche as it may sound, serve. If you're offering video services and you know, listen, I checked out this guy's website, I think you need video services. Yeah, I'm going to help you out because I know later on down the line you're growing and we're going to grow together. I think that is the most important. A lot of us really just try to extract value. You know, it's transactional. Get to know these people, build these relationships, because that's how businesses build together.
That's real. Thanks, Josh. Because when you say that, you make me think about habits, right? Like service is something that, if that's your life, that becomes a habit. So now I'm thinking, what habits do you all create in your daily lives every day that allow you to continue to be on that journey, right? Because it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So you can't arrive and say, look, I sold this today, we good, right? I made this, I'm good. So what are the habits that you all are creating in your life to continue to be successful and continue on your journey?
I think that's a great question. For me, I'm really big into my physical health, right? And my morning routine is solid. I feel like if my morning routine starts off good, everything starts off good. And I say that to say, if I'm eating the right breakfast, if I'm making my bed, or whatever's on my checklist, if I follow that, that's just going to carry on into my business life. If I'm taking care of me and I'm becoming the best version of myself, I'm able to vibrate in that and track people like that as well. So my habits start in the morning. I think it's very important to continue those habits into your business.
No, I definitely agree with that. I would say, you know, just to add on top of it, you said eating well. One of the biggest things is exercising, and people don't realize how much that physical health plays on your mental health and, you know, your work life and things like that. For me, I try to be in the gym in the morning and get it done with early. And that just creates discipline, you know, and the biggest thing of being successful is having discipline, you know. So if you could be disciplined enough to go to the gym at 7 a.m. and put your body through some pain that you don't want to be in, you could do whatever little tasks happen throughout the day. And that's one of the biggest things that translates to life, and it's an easy thing that we can do, like everybody in this room should be doing. Like, I don't know if y'all can work out in the morning, but if you make that decision to switch your life, like really take time to research like what the successful people do, you know. And most of these people that are successful and they're in positions that we want to be in, they're in the gym at 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. And if we can't do that, and we're gonna complain about the positions that we in, you know, that go a long way. So I'm trying to get in there at 6 a.m. and I hope y'all can get there too, because it'd be hard for me sometimes.
Alright, so you say working out, eating well, and stuff like that. But I agree with the two of them. But so one of the other things that I usually do is I usually have like a planner inside my house. So every single day I'll like write down what is it that I want to accomplish today. I have a set time, what time I eat breakfast, what time I eat dinner, lunch and stuff like that. And I always have to make sure that I obey and I go by what is it that I'm going through every single day and stuff like that on my planner. That's about it.
Thank you for touching on planning, right? Because and even to be here, y'all have to plan, right? Y'all all run businesses, so you making money right now, right? But you had to plan and say, all right, this is how I gotta make my Sunday work for me. So planning is essential. So thank you for touching on that. So my next question is, what sacrifices you had to make to get where you are today, right? And what valuable lessons did you learn from failures?
Some of the sacrifices that I had to make was I had to stop partying, I had to stop drinking. I had to cut off, even though I had a few shorties and stuff like that, I had to cut them all off. That was one of the biggest things right there. That's one of the biggest things right there, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, just those three right there. Unless you touching me.
Nah, that's tough. I definitely agree with sometimes you gotta cut off the shorties, I'm not gonna lie. Or you gotta save your bread and invest in yourself. And my guys in the back know what I'm talking about. But sacrifices you gotta make, everything gotta be a sacrifice, because at the end of the day, if you want your business to be successful, your life has to revolve around your business. And it might sound crazy to think like, oh, I gotta think about this 24/7, but if you really want it to be successful the way it needs to be successful, like you have to dedicate yourself and make that sacrifice. Like, all right, I can't go out tonight, I can't spend $200, as much as $200 might not seem too crazy, but that $200 in your business could be an extra $2,000 in your pocket by the end of the month. And you need that $2,000 because then that turn into $10,000. So I think it's really just come down to like being that disciplined and cut the shorties off sometimes when they be asking for too much. But when you get a good one, you gotta keep them around. Right? So many.
My man said a few shorties. I'm about to get in trouble in here. I hope none of them here, man. For me, the biggest, the right one is here. My bad. For me, the biggest sacrifices is time away from the family, because as we know, business is extremely demanding. And as a business owner, especially if you have employees now, you have an extended family that you have to take care of. And that weighs a lot on your physical and your mental. So time away from family for sure. For me, it was the partying too. Like I completely stopped drinking a little over a year now. I noticed that drinking for me. Thank you. Listen, nothing against anybody that drinks, but it was a game changer for me. It was a game changer for me because as a business owner, you're connecting with everybody. You're constantly socially drinking, and if you're out every single day, you're socially drinking every single day. And then what I started noticing was it would take me, as I got old, I'm 33 years old right now, it's different. Your body doesn't metabolize the same way it used to. It's different. It was literally 2 to 3 days hangover. And I'm like, and I don't want to do anything. So if it's 2 to 3 days and I'm drinking every single weekend, that's about 15 days out of the month that I'm not productive. It's about 6 months out of the year that I'm unproductive. There's no way I could win like that. There's no way I could win. And like I said, it's just the way that it affects me. So I completely cut that out, and my business has gone, I won't say gone crazy, but it's definitely elevated ever since then. So for me, it was alcohol, partying, which is a sacrifice, time away from the family, and yeah, those are the 2 biggest things.
What's going on, everybody? It's Brees. What's Cooking Podcast. We're here at the Financial Literacy Brunch in Elmont, and I'm here with
Gene Alexis, owner of Budget Care Solutions.
Okay, so home of the Budget Care Solutions. So tell us about that. Like, what is that basically?
So basically, about 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck due to the fact of just not understanding their finances. And so what I do is I help people with building. I help people with organizing their finances. I'm helping people, whether it be with money management, preparing for retirement, investments, and things along those nature.
Okay, so, $1 million question, is it easier to be creative or is it easier to be inspired? What do you think?
Is it easier? Well, it's harder. It's harder to be inspired.
Okay.
It's like that. It's
Why do
harder
you
to be
feel that way?
inspired Reason being is because as humans, we like getting comfortable. And so, in order to break out of that, in order to be inspired, you got to break out of that comfort zone. And so, that's why when you're leading more into the uncomfortability part, that's where inspiration, I believe, comes from.
I feel that. So thank you. It's a pleasure. Where can everybody find you at on like social medias and stuff?
So
Stuff like that?
social media, you can find me at Budget Care Solutions. I'm in the process of also doing a YouTube channel. It's under Budget Care Solutions as well. So those are those platforms you can find me at.
All right. So definitely, leave a couple comments if you want to see a full episode come soon, and just leave a bunch of comments. Let us know what you guys think, and we out here. All right. You know what's going on, man? What's cooking? NYC. I'm here with John Wick. You know what's going on, man? Episode coming soon, or it probably drop by the time you see in this video. So yeah, stay on the lookout for that. Anything you want to say real quick?
Listen, credit is power. Leverage your credit. Stay tuned for more.
All right, and just like that, we out. Come on, man. You got to do pre-code on.
You see what's going on? Yeah,
you see what's going on?
Yeah.
Hold on, drip check. Ooh.
Yeah, all of that. Send me, you see what's going on. Big Dupree in the spot.
So we're here again. Shows is outside. You know what's going on. Today's brothers right here. So yeah, the Coast Project, I think I'm unfortunate to the runners. They're hitting me crazy. So I can't even keep track. But let us know who I'm here with right now.
Ladder man, better known as Black Credit, financial literacy expert. I teach you how to leverage credit.
So, you know what's been going on. I see you had the tournament outside. I saw the Instagram. I was like, that's fire. So yeah, so $1 million question that we like to ask people on our show is it easier to, is it harder to stay creative or stay inspired?
I would say it's harder to stay creative for me, because I'm always inspired. But sometimes I get caught up in a business so much that you forget to be creative, right? Because you're so locked in.
Like one thing I'll definitely give you flowers for is like all the speeches you try to get the most insight, like the most information. I learned the most from you, so it's definitely a pleasure to have you. Like I said earlier, make sure you show love to us. As always, we outside, what's going on. So that's all I gotta say, man. Anything you want to say real quick?
I love my appreciate you guys for joining.
Alright, so in the comments, if you want to see your video or episode with Black Credit, let us know. Drop the likes in the comments. And we on it. What's going on? What's going on? Everybody see you here. What's going on? I got coaching with me. If you saw the last episode, you definitely know who the coach is. Or by the time you're watching this, maybe the episode's out, maybe it's not. But definitely came into the studio with us. We gave a lot of insight. And he definitely had a lot of wise words of wisdom. So, coach, how you feel? Not too bad, the wrong questions are kind of kicking in, but I'm hanging in there right now. So anything you want to say about the episode so far? We know your episode's coming soon, so we don't want to say too much. Let's talk about the event instead, like anything else going on. Taking a lot of notes, a lot of gems, and whatnot. So is there anything that you just want to tell the audience so far?
I would say this right now. Event like today, it's all possible. And you hear me say it all the time. It's possible. It is. And let me say this, don't get me wrong. Having a 9-to-5 job is nice. Owning a business should be the objective. Business ownership. I'm not telling you when you're 9-to-5 tomorrow. Start something really to grow your business up. Right? Let's get it.
What's going on, everybody? What's cooking NYC? We're here at the Financial Literacy Brunch in Elmont. and I am here with
Dan Barrero, USA Land Ventures.
Yes, so I caught the OG as soon as he was leaving. I was in the rush. I was like, wait, I need to get a quick video with you. So, you know, we're both freezing right now, but I had to get this video in. So I have to ask you the $1 million question right now.
What's that?
Is it easier to stay creative or stay inspired?
Can't have one without the other, because the inspiration develops the creation, and you can't continue to grow without the creation and without the inspiration.
So my second point to that question is like, how did that relate into real estate? Like, how do you feel like that ties into real estate?
It's all the same. It doesn't matter what business you're in. It doesn't matter if, like I said earlier, if you're selling hot dogs on the corner, are you going to be the first guy out there making sure that, you know, you're the first person ready and available for lunchtime? You know, it doesn't matter what your business is. You know, if you're not creative, if you're not inspired. Like, I wake up every morning and the first thing I do is I go to the mirror and I start thinking to myself and pumping myself up so I can have a great day.
Appreciate it. You know, it's cold. I don't keep you busy. It seems like you're in a rush. It was a pleasure. No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's Taylor from What's Cooking, and I'm here with Mr. Malik Dupree.
Yeah, we here. Thank you for having me.
No
What's up?
problem.
Yeah, you
First of all, I love the drip.
Yeah, come on, you need a coat. Look, it's cold out here.
Give me a coat, because it's cold outside.
Mouthful. I'm not gonna lie. You got that shit on. Yeah, word.
So, how you enjoying the event today?
That was a great event. I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot. You know, I took some gems. I spit some gems. You learned something today?
I learned a lot.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot from you too. As an entrepreneur myself, I have my own clothing line.
Okay.
I want to ask you, what was the hardest part of starting your clothing line or your fashion line?
Okay. Hardest part, I'm gonna say, was probably actually just doing it. You know, a lot of us, we have great ideas and we can make our ideas realities. And I had great ideas my whole life, and I just, you know, I took it amongst myself to, all right, boom, this is what I'm gonna do. And it just took that little bit of passion, you turn that passion into real life dreams, and next thing you know, we're here and we're successful. So the biggest thing I can tell for somebody is whatever ideas you have in your head is just take it and do it. You know, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it too.
All right, thank you. That was very inspirational. Got a lot of ideas up here. I'll write them down.
Come on, write them down and write them down and take action, because you could do it. Look, this could be your business right here. Shout out to Chi-Chi, man. Chi-Chi had an idea, and now she here, and now she got Malik Dupree walking in the spot, talking and this and that, and yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate
No problem.
It. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
All right, guys. It's Taylor again. I'm back. This time we got Moses back from the brunch. So, we have this lovely young man right here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Heinz Chauffeur, CEO of Heinz Chauffeur Transport, Heinz Chauffeur Luxury, Heinz Chauffeur Protection.
All right. So, can you say about your first name too?
So my first name is Shaquem, last name is Heinz.
Shaquem Hines. All right. So, how was it starting your chauffeuring company? Like, what was your starting point?
So my starting point with the chauffeuring thing was pretty much reinvested in I pretty much was able to like build up enough capital where I can like invest in my first vehicle, and then from there I pretty much like was advertising, promoting. My first vehicle that I had, I started to rent it out. After I started renting it out to make money, bring the capital in, whatever the case may be, I reinvested the funds that I made from the first car, and I was able to get 2 cars, 3 cars, 4 cars, 5 cars, 6 cars, and that's how pretty much how I started this.
Right. So, what's your favorite part of running a chauffeur?
You get to like meet like big faces, big names in the industry. You get to like network with them. They put you on an opportunity. You can help your family out, help your people out, just based on that networking and opportunities that you create working with the artists and stuff like that.
Right. And my last question for you: Is it harder to stay inspired or to stay creative?
I feel like it's hard to stay creative. It's probably easy for me to focus on being inspired or staying inspired because I'm around Jay-Z like almost every other day. So every time I'm around him, I always gain like some sort of piece of knowledge from him that'll help me throughout my everyday life. And being that he's a billionaire, so just hearing it out of his mouth just really keeps me going and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
It's really about it.
All right. Thank you for talking to us.
Okay.
All right. And we're out.
All right, what's going on, everybody? What's good, NYC? I'm back here for my last interview for the night. So much run points going through my blood right now. Like, it's just like, I can't hit, man. I can't hit.
Bobby.
But yeah, so who am I here with right now?
I'm here with Zach O'Hara.
Zach O'Hara. All right, Zach. So one thing I must commend you on is you did a great job hosting this event.
Appreciate it.
All the questions you asked were amazing questions.
Appreciate it.
Got a lot of insight, a lot of information. And you actually made me think a little bit too myself, just in terms of like what you were asking. And not just what you were asking, but what you were saying as well, because you did have some responses. Yeah. And you know, I definitely commend you for that. Appreciate that. So my first question I want to ask you is like, what got you to like, you know, create this event? Like, what's the
man. All right. So it happened a couple of years ago, right? When I was a senior in college, my girlfriend, I have the mic. When I was a senior in college, my girlfriend actually got pregnant. And let me go back before that. Like growing up, I was raised in a single parent household. So I always had to find ways to make extra money. So I was buying candy and reselling in school, even though I wasn't supposed to. I would buy sneakers, resell the sneakers. But when I got to college, I was focused on getting a job until my girlfriend got pregnant. And when she got pregnant, I had the realization like, yo, I gotta find some extra money to get money. Because working a 9 to 5 is not gonna cut it. Because I gotta provide. So I started researching how to invest in how to make money, how to like just invest, and how to make your job give you more about not how to make your job, give you more money, but how to use your job as a leverage tool to help you fund business and start business and grow them. So basically, that's what I started learning about, and that's what I did. Fast forward to the pandemic, there was a group called EYL. They actually motivated me. Shout out to Earn Your Leisure. I actually know the person that is in the background. He's another boxer. But they inspired me to do something like this in my career, to empower the people that may not know. Because a lot of people here, we live in what's called financial literacy, where people over here don't get any of this information. So what I want to do is bring people with like minds together to get back to our community. Because we need this. This helps us grow. Because what we could do is we could invest in each other and we could help our families get to the next level.
So $1 million question we like to ask, you guys already know what it is. Is it harder to stay inspired or stay creative?
That's a good one.
See, you was asking all these questions today. We got one to go on right here. So,
I would say stay creative. I would say the hardest part is to stay creative because a lot of things today can keep us inspired. Like Instagram, they do a great job of motivating, inspiring. But what we could get caught up in sometimes is just copying and pasting. In order to get to the next level, what you got to do is you got to create something new. You got to create something unique and put it into the atmosphere, and that allows you to be successful. What we're doing is similar to what other people have done in the past, but it's not about that. It's about impact.
Hey everyone, it's Sarah from What's Cooking Podcast, and who do I have with me today? Patrick, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's the catchphrase?
I started off my entrepreneur life very pandemic at the time. I was able to start about 2 businesses. First I started off with something that I shot to
ideas, go for it. I'm big on trying to execute. I think with this whole creative plan, I want to achieve by a certain time frame.
I like that. So where can everyone find financial literacy, that resources, mental health, education, and access to resources. That's your quote that you read on said at the beginning. Very powerful. I was able to resonate with almost everything. Where does the inspiration for your poetry and for I'm writing. I'm not I'm always creative, right? But life happens, how do you stay inspired to follow through on your throughout the day-to-day? So the creation is there, but where's the inspiration to actually I think the inspiration is over. I think like inspiration consistency and action. Like, you may not think that people are going to show up. You may not think it makes sense, but who cares? It makes sense to you. So just take the next step. And it might be a small step, like writing something down. And that's a step forward. And then write it down and now do it. And that's another step forward. And it might be so small, but long term it's going to add up. You can find me on Instagram at
What's going on, everybody? As you can see, I put my clip on this time. I know I was playing with y'all earlier. I was holding it in my hand. I got clipped on, but who am I here with?
Chase from PJ Luxury Rentals.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Chase. Oh, you got his brand on too. So he got double the businesses right now. So he got the luxury rentals and he got the clothing line too. So tell us about your business, just a little bit about like what you're doing and whatnot.
Right, so I try to provide, well actually I do provide the highest level of luxury. That includes luxury cars for rentals, chauffeurs, photo shoots, and we also offer condo rentals, jet rentals.
Oh, we got the condos too, all right.
Yes, and yachts as well. Pretty much, pretty much any type of luxury that you need, we can provide it.
Okay. So I see you got the back of the hoodie too. I don't know if you want to show that real quick. We got the back of the hoodie right here. You see what's going on, man. Yeah. So the $1 million question for today, is it harder to stay inspired or stay creative? And why?
For me, I would say it's harder to stay inspired. Creativity comes naturally, I would say, just from thinking of just having random thoughts. I come up with ideas on a regular basis, but the inspiration, a lot of the times I get it from trying to give inspiration to other people. After I give other people advice, I kind of got to step back and listen to my own advice to keep myself inspired. That's what works.
All right, yeah, I appreciate that answer. So let everybody know where they can find you at, how they could get in touch with you, do business with you and whatnot.
Absolutely. You can find me on Instagram at PJ Luxury Rentals on Instagram, and the website's coming soon.
Website coming soon, all right, no problem. So, yeah, you heard what he said. Follow him, show him a bunch of love. Let him know if you guys actually do try to get a rental. Let him know who sent you guys. And just like that, we're out.
Thank you, my brother.
No problem. Appreciate it. What's going on, everybody? What's cooking NYC? We're here for our final interview for the day. I know I said it was our final one earlier, but there was a couple entrepreneurs that everybody wanted me to get into it, and they were highly requested by everybody that's here. So, you know, I definitely missed out. That's my fault, but likewise, you know, we're going to make sure we show love to everybody. So who am I here with today?
How y'all doing, everybody? It's Lee with Anderson Enterprise. I'm going to tell you real quick. We need possibly give you some free games, you know?
Yeah, so it's actually ironic, right? So I was just having a conversation and I was telling him, I was like, yo, ever since I moved to Queens, it's like I see him everywhere. Whether it's parties, business events, like I used to see him everywhere. I recognize him because he has that look. Like he had the glasses, the belt, it's like a signature look for him. So yeah, like we were chopping it up and whatnot. He was telling me he's into credit. So he could tell you a little bit about what he does and whatnot.
So boom, my goal is to pretty much put you on the game. A lot of people don't know about the credit and it's terrible. There's no reason, especially in New York, that you're waiting for the statute of limitations to bypass everything in credit reports. And in New York, the statute of limitations is about 7 years for any negative information. Now, why wait 7 years if you could work on your credit for 6 to 12 months and be in a better position? Then after that, I'll show you how to get a bag from these banks. There's no reason why you're walking around with less than 100K in total loans from these banks. It's not that hard. Right. As long as you have a 680, about 4 years of credit, no inquiries, no negative marks, okay? You can get that bag and I'll help you get that. That's it. That's it.
Yes, sir. So $1 million question that I ask everybody on that show. Is it harder to stay inspired or stay creative, and why?
I say it's harder to stay creative, especially in lanes that everybody's doing the same thing, because you want to be an individual, you want to stand out, right? It's only but so many ways that you can say, yo, do this, and about 30 other people did it. So you have to put your own spin and put your own flavor, because if you don't, they're going to go to the next person.
All right, so yeah, so definitely let everybody know where they can find you at. If they want to get in touch with you, do some business, or just ask you any questions.
No problem, no problem.
Or party with you, because I see, like I see him everywhere, man.
I know about to see you.
Every party, I see him everywhere.
I know about to see you for a little bit,
but yeah.
At the infamous Wow, that's my personal page. I post a lot of value on there. You can also follow my business page at Anderson Enterprise. That's ANRCET Enterprise. And last thing I want to say, hold on.
You got the dot card. You got to scan it. Make sure you scan the dot card.
Get your credit right. That's it.
All right.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. All right. So what's cooking NYC? We're done for the night, Taylor. Thank you for everything. You know, holding it down.
All right.
And we're out.